What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the game we've all been waiting for. First year coach Frank Donk has done the unthinkable as the Tennessee Titans, the 1 seed in the AFC, is going up against the 7th seed in the NFC, the New York Giants. Who would have thought it? We've got a rematch as the Tennessee Titans and the New York Giants faced off in week 17. The Tennessee Titans had an opportunity to knock New York out of the playoffs, but they failed. As Derrick Henry got hurt in the first half, he had less than 10 carries in the game. Daniel Jones threw 2 touchdowns. He ran one in. Both quarterbacks, Ryan Tannelhill and Daniel Jones, threw for less than 150 yards. What will be the outcome in Arizona as both teams are heating up and they both collide today in the Super Bowl? We got the media day, which we will not do. We are going to go to our weekly strategy, and I think you guys already know what that's going to be. It's going to be stopping King Henry, who's running to the outside better than he is on the inside. So we're going to keep that the same. And if we advance, we've got to pound the rock. We get Saquon Barkley back. We do get Gary Brightwell back. That's a positive. We get OJ Howard back. So those are all big key players that we're going to get back for the Super Bowl. I think we have to just do what is successful, and that's running the ball up the middle. So there's not going to be too many injuries. We also get to see the NBC telecast, which we have not seen yet this season. Guys, you know what time it is. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to Glendale, Arizona, and welcome to Super Bowl 57 as the Tennessee Titans, the 1 seed in the AFC, go up against the 7th seed in the NFC. We have a David versus Goliath situation as first-year Frank Donk, coach of the New York Giants, is trying to do the unthinkable. Beat the vaunted Tennessee Titans led by King Henry, Mike Vrabel, Frank Donk, who will get their first Lombardi Trophy, New York, Tennessee. And we are underway in Super Bowl 57. Man, that NBC telecast looking good. Woohoo, look at the ticker down at the bottom as New York will kick this ball off in Arizona, and Super Bowl 57 is underway. And here is the leader for Tennessee, Ryan Tannelhill. 25 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions. The name of the game for Tennessee is to feed Derrick Henry and prevent Ryan Tannelhill from turning the ball over. A big thing that happened in week 17 against these two teams was that Derrick Henry got hurt. New York's defense put down the clamps on Tennessee's offense, and they were able to escape with a win that jolted them into the playoffs, as we see Derrick Henry running forward for a gain of 9. New York has had a tough time all season stopping the run game, and can they stop the NFL's best, as that is a first down to A.J. Brown, Tennessee's favorite wide receiver, Ryan Tannehill's favorite guy to throw to, as we are going to see Tennessee try to come out and take a lead here early. Ball on the 39, and that is handed off to King Henry, who runs over one defender of New York and pushes forward for another gain of 8, as he has already had 17 yards on the day in New York, having to try to figure out how to stop King Henry as he is out. There's a flag on the play, and Tennessee is at midfield, but might get pushed back, and we've got a false start. Both of these teams need their offense to play error-free. We'll have to watch throughout the game who will prevent the least turnovers, as Derrick Henry sheds another tackle and gets stopped by Leonard Williams, who comes back after injury. Derrick Henry, 3 rushes, 26 yards. He was out on that penalty play that led to the false start, but he gets to come right back in, and I imagine he will not miss too many snaps on offense, as here they are, a little play action. Fakes Norris Jenkins out, and that is thrown deep to A.J. Brown, who comes up with a touchdown. James Bradbury in coverage, and Tennessee with a 50-yard touchdown. Daniel Jones on the sideline. It is his turn now. Ryan Tannelhill, we weren't expecting too many highlights from the quarterback play in this Super Bowl. We were expecting to see a lot of running touchdowns, but we get to see a 50-yarder there to A.J. Brown, and Tennessee is up by 7. And here is the leader of New York's offense, Daniel Jones, 18 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Not as error-free as Ryan Tannehill has been this season, but they want the same type of play that Tennessee wants out of Ryan Tannehill. Don't turn the ball over, feed your running backs, and then run out of the pocket if pressure comes. New York has a tough task against the #1 defense in the NFL this year, led by Harold Landry, who had 12.5 sacks on the season. The first play is hand to Saquon, who's been out pretty much all playoffs long. He picks up nothing on the play. That leads to a 2nd down and 10, shotgun set for New York. Daniel Jones looking to try to find somebody. He's got nobody, and he takes off and runs with it. We've seen it all season long. Last week, he did get hurt trying to run out of the pocket and pick up a touchdown. Justin Crump comes in and just shocks the NFL and Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, and has an epic comeback that gets New York into this position. Otherwise, we'd be looking at Tom Brady trying to win his 8th Super Bowl. We got a 3rd down and 3. What will happen here? New York picks up the 1st down on the legs of Saquon. 1st down and 10 now for New York after picking up a 1st down. A big 1st down against this defense that kind of sets your nerves, you know? It gets you kind of more comfortable and flow with the game. Saquon picks up 1 yard. It's going to be tough. Every single yard you pick up against the #1 defense in the NFL is going to be tough. 2nd down and 9. Daniel Jones dumps that off to O.J. Howard, who comes back for the playoffs, and he picks up 4. Daniel Jones's first pass attempt of the game. 3rd down and 6. New York on their 41. Can they get the 1st down? Ball is snapped. Daniel Jones looking to find somebody. He's got a wide open Colin Johnson, who's in for Kadarius Toney. And a huge pickup of 34. And New York is in Tennessee territory. And this is the matchup that we have been wanting to see. New York, the best team in the NFL in the red zone, and now they are, after a huge carry by Saquon, and nets 10 yards on the play and a 1st down, as we've got the #1 scoring red zone offense in the NFL going up against the #1 defense. And what's going to break? Who's going to win? This will probably determine the Super Bowl champion. Ball snap. Daniel Jones looking to throw this. He dumps it off to Gary Brightwell, his first touch of the day. And he picks up about 2. 2nd down and 8. Got the box stacked for Tennessee. They're looking for New York to run it. It looks like they do. Saquon behind his tight end picks up about 4 more yards. And we've got a 3rd down and 4 again. We have seen New York do this all season long. They methodically move the ball down the field. They led the NFL in 1st downs. Ball snap, little play action. Daniel Jones looking to throw it to somebody. He checks it down to James White, who reaches out. Does he give them the 1st down? And no. 4th down and inches. And what will Frank Dog do? He's been aggressive all season long. Tennessee holds up here. Mike Vrabel talking to his coaches, trying to figure out what will New York do. You take the points, you try to be aggressive, and Frank Dog wants to go for it. This is what has made New York successful. Got them to this situation. The ball is snapped. Saquon picks up the 1st down. And New York is cooking. We've got less than 3 minutes left in the 1st quarter. 1st and goal for New York. Saquon pushes forward over 3 Tennessee Titan defenders. And he gets his first Super Bowl touchdown of his career. And New York has tied this game up 7-7. Oh no. Saquon has pulled his hamstring on that touchdown, so Gary Brightwell will be in for the foreseeable future. Hopefully he will return soon, as this is the biggest game of his life and might determine if he sticks with New York or not. Oh, Blake Martinez! We were usuring that. Almost comes up with a huge interception. Ryan Tannelhill, pressure coming off his left. Not sure if that was Kayvon Thibodeau or not, but almost netted in an interception. As there's a 3rd down and 5. And Ryan Tannelhill, incomplete pass, trying to get it to King Henry. And Tennessee will have to punt it on their second drive of Super Bowl 57. New York looking to try to extend this drive, as that's dumped down to Kyle Johnson. Gives him another chance, and he picks up the 1st down. Daniel Jones 5 for 6 for 55 yards. Byard was in for the tackle. And New York's almost back at midfield at the 45. Gary Brightwell with a carry, and he gets stopped after picking up maybe just a yard. No, they're going to give him 2. 3rd down and 6. Midfield for Daniel Jones. Oh, we got James White with a huge catch. Still in as a 3rd down receiving threat for New York. Comes up big. He has been clutch for New York in the playoffs. Great signing by them, and we've got a 1st down and 10 in Tennessee territory. Gary Brightwell gets smacked by 2 Tennessee Titan defenders. He's not had much going for him so far in this game. 3rd down and 5, and you gotta say, New York has got to pass it. Good thing about Tennessee stopping the run is it puts New York in predictable situations on 3rd down. Another wide open defender underneath. O.J. Howard, his 2nd catch of the day, and Daniel Jones 7 for 8. Picks up another 1st down. O.J. Howard with 17 yards or 15 yards on the day. Saquon is back in, and he carries the ball for a huge 1st down. Wormley is hurt for Tennessee, but New York already has 56 yards rushing on the day. Saquon Barkley is looking good so far early in this game, and they're back in the red zone. We talked about this plenty throughout the playoffs. Saquon falls forward as he has 9 rushes, 40 yards, and a touchdown as he picks up 3 on that play. So here's a 3rd down for Daniel Jones. They are just outside the 10-yard line. Puts Saquon in motion. There's nobody out there. Safety moves over. We've got nobody. We've got nobody. And the Tennessee Titans middle linebacker comes in for the sack. And a huge stop by Tennessee forces the Graham Gano field goal, who's been known to miss some. He makes this one, and New York is up by 3. So can Tennessee answer as New York has taken their first lead in Super Bowl 57? That's handed off to King Henry, who's falling forward every time he gets a touch. He's already got 38 yards on the day on only 5 rushing attempts, setting them up nicely. 2nd down and 3, and that's dumped right back off to King Henry. Goes out of bounds after picking up the 1st down. All at midfield for Tennessee, looking to advance this ball forward. And that is thrown to Bell, who picks up a 1st down. Nice little route ran by him. And now Tennessee is in Giants territory, looking to at least tie this game. James Bradbury's been a liability in the secondary for New York all season long, as that's dumped off, and it's a fumble. Jackson picks it up. The tight end Pinckney fumbles the ball. We'll get a replay of this. Drake Jackson in, and I think his knee was down. We got to think, it seemed to come out at the same time. This is probably the best look we're going to get. His knee was down. The ball comes out. He will be down. And that should be Tennessee Titans ball. It is 2nd down and 4 for Tennessee, who escapes. That could have been very bad, as momentum would have extremely shifted. And there is McKinney. Ryan Tannelhill turns it over. And New York, doesn't matter if the call gets overturned, they force a turnover regardless. So a very uncharacteristic turnover by Ryan Tannelhill gives New York a chance to extend this lead even further. As Johnson catches that, goes out of bounds, might have actually lost a yard. He does lose 2. Brings up a 3rd down to 16. This would be a huge stop by Tennessee if they are preventing New York from moving the ball any further down the field. Daniel Jones finds his go-to guy, O.J. Howard. Daniel Jones snaps it, looking to try to find somebody. And Darius Slayton leaps forward, catches that, and now we have O.J. Howard hurt. Darius Slayton with his first catch of the day for 15 yards. Saquon Barkley, his first touch, falls forward for a gain of 10. And this is weird. New York's offense is looking explosive. O.J. Howard's going to stay in. This is game time. They're clicking. They're explosive. Daniel Jones is 9 for 10. Saquon with probably his worst carry of the day. He has 63 yards on the ground. As we've got a 2nd down and 8, play action. Daniel Jones, plenty of time to run. Evans, the middle linebacker, not in. Tomorrow in as the sub. Loses track of Daniel Jones, and now we've got a 1st down and goal, and New York in prime position to add on to the lead. We've got a screen. That's dumped off. Saquon Barkley, and he picks up a few yards. Daniel Jones now 11 for 12. And Tennessee do it again. Can they prevent New York from getting another touchdown inside the red zone? Daniel Jones steps back. Oh, that could have been intercepted. Morrow with the pass deflection. And Tennessee is able to stop New York in back-to-back drives and hold them just to 2 field goals. Tennessee's only down by 6. Ryan Tannehill coming back from the interception he threw earlier, trying to give his team a lead. A touchdown here would do that, as he's only got 1 minute and 17 seconds to work with. Tannehill hurries his offense up to the line of scrimmage and dumps that right back down to Derrick Henry, who picks up another 1st down. They continue the hurry-up offense as it's working here. The same play. It's, oh my goodness, King Henry cannot be stopped. 2nd down and 7. They are in field goal range. They can score. What will they decide to do? They dump that off to Batty, who runs right by Jenkins, right by another defender. Injury timeout by Jones. Tennessee with 23 seconds left in the 1st half. They dump that off to Brown, who sheds the tackle of Bradbury and picks up another 1st down. And Tennessee uses their final timeout. They'll have to be smart here to finish out the 1st half. Tannehill snaps it. He's looking in the middle of the pocket, and he finds Julio Jones, his 1st catch. Tannehill now clicking 12 of 15. And they're not going to chance it. They're going to run out the kicking unit, even inside the 5. A little questionable call by Vrabel. And Tennessee moves it just about 80 yards down the field and brings this within 3. And we are underway here. Only 2 quarters remaining, and that will dictate who will be the NFL Super Bowl champion, as Daniel Jones leads his offense back out on the field. The first play of the 2nd half is handed to Saquon, who falls forward for a 1st down. He has 73 yards rushing as Saquon is hurt. Oh, he's grabbing down at his calf. He was already out a little earlier for that hamstring. Maybe. Saquon came back a little too soon. Play action fails. Murchison pushes his offensive lineman all the way into the face of Daniel Jones, and a huge sack. 2nd down and 16, a loss of 6. Daniel Jones throws that to Colin Johnson, who might have gotten the 1st down. If not, he at least picked up 15. And Saquon has an abdominal tear. He is out for the game. That's dumped off to Johnson, who drops it. And that's a 4th down. King Henry looking strong in the backfield there. Single back setup. Tannelhill puts his tight end in motion. Henry gets the ball. Henry at the 40, at the 50. He sheds, no, he gets tripped up, and nice run, Derrick Henry, 7 rushes, 90 yards. And this is when he starts to cook in the second half of games. When the defense starts to get tired, Derrick Henry is one heck of a guy to try to bring down. Teams just don't want to tackle him. As you see, it takes 2 there, and he's almost pushing up to 100 yards on the day. And we said this earlier. Whatever quarterback, whatever team has the most success running the ball will dictate the winner. And so far, Tennessee is having the best formula at that, as Tannelhill, pocket collapsing, just gets rid of it. That will be an incompletion. 3rd down and 8. New York trying to hold Tennessee to potentially just a field goal. Henry in to the right of Tannelhill. 3rd down and 8. 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Quick snap, quick release, and he gets stopped. It'll be about a 45-yard field goal. And the kick is up, and it's good. No Kadarius Toney. Now no Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones, and Gary Brightwell. O.J. Howard. Do they have enough firepower against the #1 defense in the NFL? We're going to find out. Got a few sacks. Daniel Jones not been able to scramble except for like in this possession. He runs out, I think, just shy of getting the 1st down, a 3rd down and 1. Frank Donk saying, geez, man, you gotta get the 1st down. It's a Super Bowl. 3rd down and 1. Snap, handed to Brightwell, and he falls forward. Gary Brightwell is just not running like Saquon was. He's picking up 1-2 yards at most. Play action, Daniel Jones looking to try to find somebody. We'll throw that underneath to Kyle Rudolph, and it was almost intercepted. Juergens, the center for New York, is hurt on the play, and that brings up a 3rd down and 5 in Tennessee territory. It's on the 42, so it's kind of in Graham Gano field goal range. The question is, do you trust Graham Gano to kick the field goal? But it will not matter as Sheldon Reagans comes in for the 3rd sack by Tennessee. Tennessee with a chance now after a few good stops by their defense to take the lead. 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Gotta think a heavy dose of Derrick Henry is oncoming. As Ujulari's in there for the stop. 3rd down and 2 as King Henry has ran 10 times for 100 yards. He's averaging 10 yards a clip. And here on 3rd down, you know he's going to get it. And he gets the 1st down. Now over 100 yards rushing for King Henry, who is on his way to winning this Super Bowl MVP. If Tennessee can hold out here, we've got 1 quarter remaining. 1st and 10 for Tennessee. They're at midfield. And King Henry is eating. They're going to hand that right back off to him. He runs up the middle, gets it for about 5 yards, maybe 6. That's dumped off to King Henry, who jukes right by the defender, Frazier. Julian Love is now hurt. King Henry, 5 catches for 54 yards. Was not expecting that. King Henry trying to close in on 200 yards all purpose. As that's dumped off to the tight end for a 1st down. We need him here on this play as Tennessee is, oh God. Tennessee is clicking on all cylinders, and now Derrick Henry is hurt. After all this running throughout the entirety of the season, I'm surprised he's lasted this long. Probably the biggest, strongest running back in the NFL. Play action for Tennessee. Blake Martinez read that correctly. Ryan Tannehill trying to find somebody. He just holds on to it. And New York gets their 1st sack of the game, a loss of 13. That's dumped off to the tight end. New York with the stop. And now it's up to the kicker for Tennessee to put their team ahead for the first time since the first quarter. It's snapped, the kick is up, and it's good. Tennessee takes the lead in the fourth quarter. Tennessee's defense is trying to hold strong here as they're #1 in points allowed, #2 in takeaways, even though New York has not turned the ball over yet. Pressure they're getting in Daniel Jones' face quick. He just dumps it off again to James White, his favorite target on the drive. Here as there's a 3rd down and 5. Big play by Daniel Jones, who took a sack in the same situation last drive. Ball snapped. Who's he going to get it to? He dumps it off to Devontae Booker, and he reaches out. Justice Simmons is hurt. Did they give him the first down? And they do. So 3rd down and 8. Tennessee's defense has been putting the clamps on New York ever since the second quarter. 3rd down and 8. What will Tennessee do? Do they get the stop? 2 guys take down James White and prevent him from getting the first down. So here is Graham Gano. Outside of the 20 this season, he has been abysmal. 55% completion percentage on the season, but he has almost been money in the playoffs. We've got about enough time for 1 drive per team. 4 minutes left. Ryan Tannelhill comes out, but do we see Derrick Henry? No, he's still not in. Both teams without their star running backs, and Tennessee still looking to run it as Evans takes that carry. We're gonna blitz. We're gonna bring the pressure. Force Tannelhill to try to find somebody. He changed the play at the line of scrimmage. He dumps that down, and him and Julio not on the same page. New York holds strong. 2.5 minutes left for New York to be champions. Can they go down and score and win against the #1 defense in the NFL? Gary Braywell picks up more than 15, maybe it was. Daniel Jones dumps that off. Darius Slayton, his second catch. He sheds a tackle and then gets stopped. This is brought down by 2 Tennessee Titan defenders. This is what makes or breaks franchises. Quarterbacks, head coaches. What team will come out the day on top? We are going to find out. No one to throw it to. And we've got a flag. It might be roughing the passer. And now Daniel Jones and offense can just run time off the clock. Gary Braywell. You got to think New York's just going to run this ball. They pick up the first down and then some. Braywell clicking. You got a first down and goal. Well, this is it. Can Tennessee hold on? Or will New York score and win the game? James White gets it to the 1-yard line. Snapped. Brightwell gets it, and the New York Giants go up with 30 seconds remaining in Super Bowl 57. New York is 30 seconds away from being the NFL champions. And there's a fumble! Sacked! The clock continues to run. 3 seconds, and this game is over. New York are your Super Bowl champions. Frank Goff, first-year head coach, gets it done. Mike Vrabel is disgusted as he is the coach of the year, and New York are your Super Bowl champions. And Ryan Tannehill gets so close, but you got to go back to that interception. That was really the only flaw in Tennessee. Defense played good all the way up until that final drive. If King Henry would not have gotten hurt, this game was probably going to turn out different. But New York was down it all season. No one thought they could win. They came back against Tom Brady. They beat the #1 seed in the AFC to get into the playoffs. They come back in the Super Bowl and beat them again, just to prove to everyone that they belonged. Xavier McKinney gets your player of the game. He is the Super Bowl MVP as he gets a touchdown. Oh, I'm sorry, an interception. He has 3 tackles. And Daniel Jones is going to go down in history as a Super Bowl winning quarterback, as he's there celebrating with his team. Kenny Galladay, head coach Frank Donk, Blake Martinez, and I am in shock, probably with the rest of the NFL world. Congratulations, New York. You're bringing home another Lombardi. Guys, what the we just won the Super Bowl with the New York Giants. Oh my God, I cannot believe that just happened. Make sure to hit that like button, guys. But before we start, remember, keep your eye out. I will be streaming the entire offseason. So if you want a chance to have input on who we draft, who we re-sign, if you want to get to see how progression works, make sure to come out and support. I'd love to talk to all of you. Thank you so much for supporting this series. We will be back next year. I am also going to up the ante. We are going to, I'm a sliders guy. We're going to make this a lot harder. And I have some good ways of doing that. But until next time, keep an eye out for that live stream. I will have a premiere video so that it will remind you when I go live. But until next time, the New York Giants are Super Bowl champions.